Hi everybody, welcome to Whiskey Mystery. I'm Phil. And I see a lot of you are liking the painting today for Whiskey 272. Picked by, Donna Pass. I was like, D-Pass, who's D-Pass? Tim. But also, Tim Rye also was very close, I think, last week. Now, something funny happened yesterday when we did this tasting. And so we have to back up slightly. I could get the viscometer going maybe while I do a little introduction story. Why don't we do that? Get the viscometer underway. Start. Yes, we're going. Right. Welcome everybody. So we are going to be blind tasting today. Only 30 something left on our journey to 300 whiskies blind. You can see them all on the shelves here. Well, at least some of them. Now, for science purposes yesterday, we had to taste some Brora. Because we haven't drunk all of this bottle. We shared out so much of this bottle because it was so expensive. We bottle shared, right? So we've only got this little bit left for ourselves. And we thought maybe we might buy another one. And our bottle non-buying streak has been 105 days since we last bought a bottle. But we broke that streak. So we had to do some science for your benefit. And we had to drink some yesterday. Now, 38-year-old Brora, 37-year-old Brora. They're both distilled in 1977, which is one of the final years that Brora was still doing in-house malting. Want a closer look? Maybe. Will it work with the viscometer? There you go. You can have a closer look, maybe. So these are both considered of the more peaty Brora. After 1978, it was less peaty, as I understand it, up until 83 when it closed. These whiskies are almost identical on the nose. We couldn't separate them. There is a point of coming to this story, but anyway. If someone really wanted to try Brora, let us know. But I can warn you that it's something like... Hang on, I had the spreadsheet open. Where is Brora? Something like $250 per 2 ounces. But if there was a lot of people who wanted to try it, again... There's one more bottle. We could always get another. It was a hideous price. $2,751. Ah, there you go. I said it. Right. Why does this relate to... Wow, is that thing still on the viscometer? Why does that relate to this whiskey? Because we did our homework yesterday and we didn't want to have this first and then the Brora because we believed this one was strong after last week's little taste. So we did all the Brora first, and it was so amazing, delicate, complex, whatever. And then we're like, right. After about an hour of that, we came up to taste this. And we both tasted, and we both burst out laughing. I've never thought of whiskey could be funny. But by comparison, this was... It just made us both laugh. So, okay, we're almost at the viscometer. Wow, hang on, this is incredibly long. 355. Okay, hang on. 116%. And I'm going to quickly look at the blind results because we've only had a couple of whiskies higher than this. Craigellachie Sherry Butt at 121. That's it. Actually, Deanston 10 PX was 115. And amazingly, Springbank Local Barley Bear Barley was that high as well. So this is something high. Right, we're 5 minutes in. I haven't really said hello to anyone. So did anyone, James, Brora, better or worse? I know, not today. I would say that the 38 was better yesterday, but we conclude it was only better in the way of neck pour versus something which has that time in the bottle, because the 38 had been open since December. Matthias, it's been a while. Well, good to see you. Top Shelf Dustin. Hey, Dustin. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of you in. Right. Quick flash at the picture, because it is somewhat funny, isn't it? Maybe that was the mood we were in. Yesterday's glass. No, hang on. Now I can finally start the timer. For the next 12 minutes, we are going to nose it, taste it, possibly rank it on the shelf, if it's a really good one. Yesterday's glass. Wow. Almost smoky, but it's like burnt cherries. As if you've peat smoked, not using peat, but cherries instead of peat.
It's as if vanilla spatske just came out of the oven.
No, it's not that light. Vanilla? I can see it underneath.
Very subtle.
No, but there's something like cherry jam in there. Because when we have vanilla on the next day by itself, it's normally ex-bourbon, and there's something dark going on here.
It's
dark arts.
Nevis spatske with the jam on it.
Jam.
It came out of the oven.
Jam sponge cake. What do we do next? We're going to look at bubbles. Here we go. Are the bubbles big? Yes. And the colour, not quite as red as that camera always seems to make it look. Let's see if we can... Oh, not the viscometer. Let's see. You can see there is a tinge of something kind of pink, maybe. Quite sure if there is or not. Does it look slightly...
That's orange pink.
Sort of, yeah. It's like a little touch of orange, ruby orange kind of tinge to that. Right, bubble wise. Let's go back in. See him again. Okay. Bubbles. Let's compare to 50%. Now, I wonder if the ABV plays into the bubbles. I mean, it's got to. The ABV, it's not the ABV, the viscosity must have some effect on the bubbles. 56. They look bigger than that, but they look slightly strange in that there's more diversity.
57.
More diversity of bubbles, big and small at the same time. Doesn't behave like 60s.
So 55, 57.
Let's say mid 50s for now. Although I have to say the bubbles look a bit unusual. Like they're frothy, but then there's big ones at the same time.
Viscosity.
Yes, viscosity. The colour, viscosity, weird bubbles suggest there's something quite sherry, port, rum. But I don't think we have any rum left. Let's have a nose. Oh, not quite as rich as I was expecting. It must have been the Brora effect before. We were so focused on tiny details that this came across as this massive, big sherry, port, jammy something.
Prunes, BX. Red wine, red grapes.
Now there is a kind of hay barn underneath this. So maybe there is ex-bourbon vanilla going on as well. You know, you never know. Could be a finish, couldn't it? Hay, like a hay barn. Clynelish 22, false graph. Not dark enough for Clynelish. No, that's a very pale Clynelish. Whisky 101. Ooh, Bunna PX also from Colin.
There is a lot of
Macallan bubbles. Could it be Macallan bubbles?
Yes.
You never know.
Yes. It's very
okay. Cherries. The difference between the empty glass, freshly emptied, is quite hay dust with light sweetness. And then when you go to the full glass,
prunes,
heavy, sugary plum prunes jam. Cherry liqueur, yeah. Kind of like those ones you get in the chocolate.
With the alcohol in it.
A little bit.
Of sugar.
There's still some kind of Weetabix shortbread base. So it's kind of like you've got some shortbread or Weetabix.
It's definitely a dessert, very dessert.
Like a sentence. It's as if you've got some kind of Weetabix shortbread base and then totally soaked it in a cherry liqueur or something like that, isn't it? What about with water? Slightly funky now. A little bit of funkiness in that. Now, we sometimes get funkiness in wine finishes. Did I say drink it?
It's too messy.
Look at that frown. You're not laughing today, though.
It's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable.
Because it's supposed to be whiskey. It does not taste like whiskey.
Oh, it doesn't taste like whiskey. Hang on. Let me have a go. Tobacco and plum jam. You know, I've never had one of those flavoured bourbons. Like the apple Jim Beam. Do they do a cherry one? I've never had Fireball. But this is like...
Sheep sugar mixed with syrup.
I'm looking at the notes because I wanted to see what I'd called it. I called it Plum Jam Burnt Toast. And at the top, Deepa's written tacky. And then she crossed it out. And then she wrote it again. No, tacky. Yes. So hang on. You're saying... When you say tacky, what do you mean?
It's not sophisticated.
Not sophisticated?
It's more of sheep sugar rather than caramelized sugar.
Okay. So it feels like there's a sugary layer that's been poured into the whiskey.
Yes.
I think the nose is actually developing a little nicer now with the water.
Nice.
Now, what's better?
You add more.
There is a sort of tobacco richness. It tastes, it smells a bit more integrated. What about the strength then? Let's go full strength and see where we are. Ah, that is rich. But I'm getting to like it more, actually, the more I get used to it.
Was it the 50s? 50. It's not too sweet. It's like a drop on a black forest cake.
Today's drinking game word is sweet or sugar. It is, isn't it? Quite a lot of heat in the finish, and I don't think it's alcohol.
Pepper.
So maybe that's European oak spice, because the spice builds quite nicely towards the end. But I didn't actually think it was that strong.
No.
Maybe below mid-50s.
It's a combination of red wine and PX together.
Like red wine and PX?
Red grapes and prunes.
I have to say, you know, drag queens.
Mm.
This is like the whiskey equivalent of a drag queen that is fantastically made up and like perfect hair and glitter, but it is on an extreme of the human experience. And for whiskey, this is right out there in a way that is totally Las Vegas, isn't it? Now go on, keep drinking. And it's different in the way of other heavily sherried whiskies we've had before.
Yeah. And it was a 46, maybe 44.
It is settling down now. No, it's not. Hang on.
If I asked for it, I would not like it. No.
I've got a little drop of water in mine, and I think if you are into heavy sherry bomb whiskies, this is an extreme of that. Quite a nice, rich tobacco finish to it, though.
For strength with the water is not nice.
You think full strength is better? There's a lot of frowning going on the faceometer today.
Because it's very disturbing. I mean, it is not a whiskey.
Another thing we said yesterday was that this literally felt like dessert after the Brora, didn't it? Why don't you go down? Okay, go down your notes. Plum, what's that say?
Plum sweetness perfume.
Oh, plum sweetness perfume. Syrupy, like Black Forest Gatto or something.
Is that a tobacco coffee with sheep sugar?
Yes, it's like a coffee. It's a bit coffee ground in the finish, and a bit tobacco leaf, but a lot of sweetness.
It's a super nice finish.
I kind of like it.
Not bad.
We've got to be out of time.
It's really good. It's
just not our style.
But it's good. Well made.
But it's a Las Vegas. I almost said strip show. It's a Las Vegas drag show. Strip drag show. Drag strip? No.
I prefer this because it's more Ex-Bourbon.
Oh, time is up. Stronger.
It's strong.
Oh, good. This is stronger. Because this is 57, 58%. That's more like whiskey, though, isn't it?
Yes.
That is Deanston PX.
Oh, this is PX to me.
After this one, this tasted more like Ex-Bourbon. Hang on.
So what's the ABV? That is stronger.
Lower than 58, I think. A lot more pepper on this.
But
better or worse?
it is bigger ABV.
Yes, this is lower than 58. Cavalan Sherry, also a 58%er.
I like this one more. It's very dry, very acid, but it's not. It's more maybe opposite. It's more rounded. This one.
This is Cavalan Sherry.
It's opposite is sophisticated.
Almost certainly Oloroso. Much more nutty and dry compared to this, isn't it?
This one is a bit clumsy. It's not well integrated. Or maybe due to the flavour that don't work well together.
Okay. Clumsy. Well, it's hard to wear high heels in full drag, apparently. Do you like it enough to put it on the shelf?
No.
You prefer Deanston PX, that's no longer on the shelf. And you prefer Cavalan, and that's also no longer on the shelf. So, oh, the music started. no shelf position. But what can it be? Whiskey 101. I'm sticking with the Bunnahabhain PX. Notes are cherry salted chocolate. Total dessert, sweet, syrupy, long oily finish. I think second fill sherry, then 3 years PX. Oh, that sounds... Port Nova. It could be Port Nova. Okay. Let's have a quick look at the spreadsheet. Where is that? No, is that chat? Spreadsheet. Ben Nevis, batch 1, is sherry and wine, although 62% seems a bit high. Port Nova could be that, although 62 seems a bit high, coming down. Deanston 9 Bordeaux, not sweet enough, is it? Local barley, Mortlach, I don't think so. Surely not the Clynelish. Now we're dropping in ABV though. There's that Bunnahabhain PX. Longrow red, not smoky enough. Okay, look, it's got to be one of these.
I thought you tell myself that's above 50.
If it's above 60, the bubbles don't really quite support that, I don't think. But it could be Ben Nevis or Port Nova. If it's below 60, let's see, 59 is the Deanston. But I thought it was lower. What's the... Oh, 54.
I go for 54. And
Hang on.
it's a PX. Yeah, PX.
Bunnahabhain PX.
You got that farmy note. With PX.
First, let's see. The influence of Pedro Ximénez grapes from first fill sherry butts. But I think this is finish, isn't it? Oh yeah, Pedro Ximénez finish. I know this was quite an expensive whiskey when we bought it, and it's probably even more now. Ready for the reveal? I wonder what everyone else is thinking. Falsgraph. If you go up a bit on the chat, there's a crowd gathering around Port Nova. Oh, it could be. It could be. Hixie talking to Dustin. A new Flaming Heart. Ooh, I wonder how that's going to be. We didn't really mention any heat at full strength Whiskey Vault. That's right. That's why I thought it's probably not near 60. Bubbles never lie. They do sometimes, Whiskey Vault. They do with Macallan. Final guess. Okay, we want freedom. Bruce is also on the PX train. It's not Ben Nevis. There's no way Deep as Ben Nevis censor would not pick that up. Who is going to be right? Now I'm kind of dreading, looking forward to the reveal, Falsgraph. Okay, here we go. Are we ready? Ready? Where's my button? Ready for the reveal.
Well, we give the tasting note. No. Okay.
Are we ready? No. Deepa wants to talk tasting notes. Oh, it's got to be PX. It's got to be. On that nose.
Yeah, it's almost grey, soapy.
Would you gamble your bottle of Brora that if you win, you get 2?
I never gamble.
And if you lose, you don't get it. How confident are
I'm
you?
not playing this game.
Are you confident that it's PX? If you're right, you'll get an extra Brora. Would you bet?
No, I never play this game. It's risky.
Would you bet this one to get a full one or lose this one?
I don't understand. I'm not able to comprehend.
Deepa does not want to risk Brora in any shape or form. Here we go. We're hoping for something 54%. ABV is 54%. 14 years old. Wow, we paid $191 and we bought this a long time ago. It is from Islay. It is from Bunnahabhain. And as the list gets shorter, we get better and better. Oh, so it is Bunnahabhain PX. How did we spend that much money?
No, pretty good. No.
Okay, let's have a look at the tasting notes. Maybe we can get it on the camera for everyone to read. Can we see it? Colour. Deep gold. Nose handmade toffee. Sure. not quite in focus, is it? Sweet dried fruit and nuts. So the palate, rich and syrupy with hints of raisins, sultanas and honey and creamy chocolate. There you go. It's all there. Finish, sweet and fruity, long and lingering. Well, there's quite a bit of spice on that flavour. Distilled 2013, bottled 2017. I am curious if anyone's can quickly look up what this last sold for on Scotch whisky auctions.
It tastes like toffee.
It tastes like toffee.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It is toffee whiskey.
Yummy toffee cookie or mince pie.
I wish we had called this Drag Queen instead of Plum Jam Burnt Toast. I might change that. Where is the bottle? Oh, I can tell you, there's quite a lot left in here. So, for all you sherry lovers, I don't even need to ask Deepa if she wants to put it on the sharing list.
You can put on a sponge cake. Yummy sponge cake.
You know, it would be good on sponge cake or ice cream.
Or even mince pie.
Mince pies, ooh. We bought this January 2019. We got it from the whiskey shop in San Francisco.
It's expensive.
And with taxes, it cost us $191. That's $10 per year. Now, but, you know, in our defense, if we'd turned out to be real sherry bomb lovers, we would absolutely love this. It's just that we're ex-bourbon, refill ex-bourbon lovers. But this would be a great way to finish a lineup where you're talking people through delicate things. And then you go, but whiskey can be something completely different. Try this.
It's very dessert.
Super dessert. The most dessert whiskey. Sorry, I cut you off.
Not a whiskey.
Not a whiskey. True. It is.
But to me, I can ask a fun trick.
If I wanted this experience, I would drink sherry. I wouldn't drink this.
Right. It's none.
Yeah.
The ingredient. They're not worked well together.
I might take a good Oloroso sherry and put a little bit of PX into the mix if you wanted something as sweet as that. But honestly, the sherries that we've had are a better representation of this flavour profile than this heavily PX'd whiskey, if that makes sense. Over to the chat. Okay, what do you all make of that then?
At the finish, I'm not sure about the finish.
The drag revealed herself. Bunna dressed as Amrut.
Yeah, that's good. It's good for it.
Okay, let's see. I'll take the back. Don't have any Brora to lose. Whiskey Vault. Let's see. I guess we had the advantage of this one on the tasting side. Absolutely love that bottle, but definitely have to be in the right mood for it, Colin. Yeah, I could see that.
Absolutely.
I could see that. Just wanting something desserty and go, that Bunna PX will do it. Well done. Whoop whoop, fireworks for all of us on the Bunna train. Gigi and Bruce as well. Who was actually first? Donna Pass. Probably it was 22 years ago that I had two years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago, Tim, that you had a sample and remember liking it a lot. Yes, I would like another sample of it. We will put it on the sharing list.
I mean, it's dessert. I mean, you have a piece of a cake, but you're gonna have all cake, but a side of cake.
Sometimes you do have the whole cake, though.
Yes.
I bet that would give you one hell of a hangover if you actually got drunk on that. Oh, can't imagine. Bunna PX found one for 800. No. We can't put half bottles on the auction, can we? It's closer to brandy than you would expect from a whiskey. Yeah, it's really the least whiskey. If Glen Scotia is whiskey, this is... What's the anti-whiskey? It's like dark matter. No.
Dessert whiskey.
Whatever the opposite of whiskey is. Yeah, it's not whiskey. It's not whiskey. It is a flavoured spirit. That's what I would call it. Whiskey 101. I got this as soon as you said cherry. There you go. For me, it's full cherry dessert. Probably end of the meal with a huge chocolate brownie. Yes, PX, my least favourite sherry. I know, PX is really only good for pouring on things, isn't it? Whiskey 101 and everyone else who got the Bunna PX. Congratulations. This does get an insanely high rating on Whiskey Base. Does it really? What number does it get? That is funny. I'll have to look it up. Falsgraph. Let's see. Oh, you're talking about other stuff.
A white port.
I don't think we've had white port. No. Good white port is a good alternative. Is it sweet? $3.94 in Europe. Wow, that's the price. Okay, you really need to buy some sherry instead with your $3.94. I think. Jay, have not seen you in before. Welcome aboard. Once all the bottles have been revealed, would you consider re-ranking all your shelf bottles for us? I did think about going back over and doing a little retrospective revisit, because obviously there's quite a few things off the shelf that we tried Clynelish 14 yesterday alongside those Broras, just as a wild comparison, and I could see the detail was in there in a way that we'd probably like it quite a bit if it showed up today. Average value €6.55. Whiskey Vault. This is madness. Whiskey 101. I believe I was first, just by a few seconds ahead of Colin. Right. Whiskey 101. Top shelf, bottom shelf, front, middle, or back row. Sandy McDonald just won a Dathmill single cask on Master of Malt ballot. Is it worth $1.55, whiskey people? Sandy, we did not like the Dathmill from a sherry cask. Well, it was only 25% sherry and 75% ex-bourbon, but the coffee bitterness that it put into the what we thought was delicious top shelf. Oh, we did have a little reshuffle there, but still top shelf ex-bourbon Dathmill. So for me, I would not buy it if it was a sherry butt, unless you absolutely love sherry, because the thing about the Dathmill was it was so light and delicate and flowery almost. If it's ex-bourbon, yes, absolutely, that would be what I think. So tell us, is it ex-bourbon or ex-sherry? Whiskey Vault, almost 90 out of 100. Good grief, what a crazy price for that Bunna PX. 450 votes. Must be a lot of sherry lovers there. Falsgraph. Oh, you're chatting about other stuff. Donna Pass. When Kirsty McCallum was on Roy's live stream, she said this was one of the ravages things she did at Bunnahabhain. I don't know. No, one of the
crazy mood.
Outrageous. What were you saying there, Tim? You got to type that word again now. I want to know what it is. This is one of the savagest things. One of the averagest. One of the... Come on, everybody. What's Tim trying to tell me? One of the maddest. I'm trying to think, you know, when you speak into your phone, what it could misinterpret that as. The Dathmill, worth 85 but not 155, is probably the best way. Jeju, what's your opinion on vintage Johnny Walkers? I was lucky enough to grab a 1970s black label today. I've never had one that old. I've tried a few other things that are vintage and they're absolutely fascinating to compare. So That's the best thing I can do. Buy a little mini of today's Black Label, pour it, let it sit in the glass a long time to open up, and then go and have a comparison. That's the value of them. Everyone says they're great. I'm sure it'll be good. Oops, best silly spell correction. But Tim, what did you say though? I still don't know what it is. Late again, Alpha Crown. Michael Wood. Most port tends towards being sweet, but they have a beautiful lingering taste. Get some white port and age state. Oh, I see.
Okay.
Jay, you paid $150 for the. That was for the Johnny Walker. Well, worth the experience. Tim, I still don't know what your word is supposed to be. Best, really? Ravages was interpreted as best. Best. One of the best things. No, hang on. We have got to do quality control. From the bottle. Make sure everything is good. PX. PX.
It's lovely.
It's delicious. Sherry, not whiskey.
A very short finish.
I didn't actually bring it up in the end, but I did say we should compare this to Bunnahabhain 18, which is the heaviest sherry bunna that we have. Not anymore. I didn't bring it up because it was only 46%, and I was trying to compare to other 50s percentages. Okay, Sandy, I still don't know which barrel you're getting. I wonder what it is. Let's see. Whiskey 101, Daft Mill. I can tell you that to buy a Daft Mill at 46% in the US is $280, if that makes you feel any better.
Will you buy it again?
We did buy it again.
But will you buy it again? I mean, after you try it today. Okay.
Well, we did say we're not buying any more whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's Brora. Let's see. Aaron, how did best get spelt corrected to Ravages? I know. Top shelf, very front, in the middle. Looks like it's going to be this one. Whiskey 101 and many others. Bottle number 273. Whiskey 101. Thank you very much. It can't, I mean, it could be Port Nova. It can't be anything sweeter than this one. Let's see. I'm still trying to find out what Sandy's Daft Mill cask is. Have I missed it? Ex-Bourbon or sherry? Sandy. Okay. While I wait for that, forget Bunna 18. You should compare this Bunna to actual PX with a spoonful of whiskey added to it. You know, if we had some, that would be great.
Why did we buy it in the first place? We got a PX.
We bought it at the stage where we were buying a whole range of things. And I can remember buying it because you were parked up around the corner and it was kind of a rainy, dark night. January. And it was 175 price labeled. And I looked at it and thought, ooh, that's a bit expensive. Turns out I was right. Here we go. It's bourbon, Sandy. I would say buy it. And if you don't like it, find some friends to share it, bottle share with you. I presume that's quite high ABV. 50s, 56s, something. Here we go. What are we going to have for Sunday? Oh, okay. No high bubbles, but quite a bit of darkness. So, colour isn't so different, to be honest.
Almost. Same, really.
Colour is not so different. Before we get to it, can we just do one more round of my painting? Because that is the most drag queen painting I've done for a whiskey so far. And I think it perfectly represents what the PX does to that whiskey. It's Vegas, isn't it? Vegas whiskey. Okay. It's a bourbon, Sandy. No more bourbons. What was the era when Brora, Port Ellen, Rosebank and Banff still running? Oh, it was. I see. Yes. Oh, you're talking about the Johnny Walker? It could be, couldn't it? Could be some of those. Can't be sweeter. It will definitely be Port Nova now. James, you paid 160 euros for your Daft Mill. And that was the 46% version though. Delicious whiskey, but probably wouldn't buy it again. Or would I? Yeah. Would like to try the winter batch for comparison. Fair enough.
Here
we go. We like the summer 2006 better than the 07, but both very close. What we didn't like was the 2008, the American 2008, which had the quarter sherry. We didn't like that one at all. Everyone ready for the faceometer? Are we ready? HP 18, Glendronach 21. It's a Macallan. Everyone's getting the guesses in. You could be right.
Oh, Diesel 18. No, Diesel 18 is good.
Peter, thanks for a fun session. Okay, faceometer. Pay attention. Here we go. I need a little zoom in for Deepa.
So different.
Faceometer got a smiley face.
Back to the whiskey land.
We just need to see faceometer. Well, it smells stronger than 46, but the bubbles didn't seem very strong. Back to whiskey land. Yes, we are. Right. Oh. Maybe it is stronger than I thought. Quite a lot going on there, isn't there?
I'm not supposed to say anything.
That's hilarious. Deepa thinks that she hasn't given anything away. That's the best bit. The fact that you can't not express how you feel about it. That's why the faceometer is so good. I was the same. I gave a strong reaction to it. Right. See, Whiskey 101. The faceometer says Ben Nevis. Arnock 24, Peter. Sandy, first fill bourbon, 58.6%. Sandy, if you have bought other whiskies around that price range and you're okay with that, I would say yes. Falsgraf, out of drag, back to whiskey. Okay, good night. Clynelish 22, Alpha Crown. The shine in those eyes is great. No, Deepa, we can't tell anything from you. It's probably Dalmore. Oh, very good. What a lovely little chat we always have. Thanks everyone for watching. Would you like to try the PX again or the new one? See you on Sunday.
You get